Scream. Oh.
Yeah, you're gonna do the just.
All right, hold on a second. I just realized one other issue, and it's the fact that Oh God, why can I hear myself? What the fuck? Oh God, why can I hear
Is it like
myself?
an echo, or is it like an echo?
Are you usually incapable of hearing yourself?
Oh, okay. I had my fucking. I had a shit on. I had my fucking Twitch open. Yeah. Apologies. Brief audio foibles. I have to change some more shit.
Rindy,
That sucks.
Rindy,
Also,
this
at
is
least
your
it didn't
voice
have any
director speaking
Umineko.
to you. Don't forget the feelings that you felt last time.
Hey, at least the Umineko characters weren't on there.
I think that would have damned you more.
What? It would have put Battler in A tier.
But he's incompetent.
No, he's not.
Battler
Well-
deserves a firm spot at the very most B tier.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
incompetent.
Yeah, he's the butt of the joke.
No,
Kena has
but I
some
also
very
would
good
put
character
Kraus in
distinction.
C. Dude fell for scam after
Kraus is
fucking
in.
scam.
Kraus is an
Yeah.
F tier. F tier.
Literally,
Kraus is fucking
moon traveling
stupid.
In 1980s technology.
Wait, I thought the tier list was just how popular something or
No,
how
it's
cool
just-
something was.
it's
What's the tier
intelligent.
list actually about?
I know it's
Intelligent?
Stand with my statement, actually.
What's your statement?
There's
shit.
a character on there I would actually rank above Kyoko.
I think the Zook is too low.
Hello, everybody. So for
This
those who definitely wouldn't know, Khan made a tier list of what she believes to be the smartest characters in anime.
You wouldn't roast me!
I never
who said
promised
that?
anything.
You never said that! Kaneko, you made that up in your head!
I never told you that, Toko.
see.
So Khan made a tier list of what she believes to be the most intelligent characters in anime. However, there is a disgusting amount of bias on display. Give me a moment. Here, I'm gonna post it in live right now. So I'm not gonna go over the entire thing because I don't actually I don't know most of the characters in this fucking list. But
I actually know some. I know enough
think-
to know why is Lunge of the BKA an actual detective ranked below a Yu-Gi-Oh player?
Wait, Khan, I want you to explain your thought process. I want to know why. I want to actually know. I want you to explain.
Okay, I went by... Hold on a second.
Yeah?
Sorry if I don't click my space bar as the talk button. If I don't have it in the right place, it's just gonna infinitely do space bar.
Yeah, so here, so now don't get me wrong, I don't really, know a lot about some of these characters, but I think the most egregious thing in the universe is the fact that, understandably, Gendo Ikari is not emotionally intelligent. However, he is ridiculously smart, and probably shouldn't be under, Makise Kurisu, Okabe,
He's one of the top minds of this fucking planet.
Yeah, I think he's smarter than Light Yagami, Edward Elric.
Also, Taiji bumblefucks his way through the entire series.
Wait. I wanna dissect this a bit. Khan, why is Gendo so low above all these other characters?
Also, Orochimaru is a
Wait, no, Randy. Khan, I want you to explain to me.
Literal IQ, literal insane amounts of intelligence like that does not equate to even being remotely intelligent.
Wait, what?
I think it literally
Wait,
does.
what?
I think
Literally.
it literally
This is a
does.
confusing
I think,
metric.
I think being intelligent means that you're intelligent.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna be real, IQ in and of itself, yeah, it kind of is a bullshit racist
It's a
system.
fucking...
But
It is a fucking scale that should have been outdated years ago. There are multiple different kinds of... There are multiple different kinds of intelligence. It's the one thing I fucking hate is when people lord intelligence over other fucking people.
Wait, Khan. I would like to ask you, why are you discounting all his accomplishments, though?
Because he's an asshole. That's why.
That's not how that works.
That's
That has
bullshit.
nothing to do with his
That's not what
intelligence.
works.
Con, I'm going to ruin.
Please, let me get a piece in. So you say being evil discredits someone, right?
Yes.
Why the fuck is Johan an S tier? He convinced a child
Why
to
is
commit
Light
suicide.
Yes.
B tier. Losing my mind.
I don't get
die.
why is the Hunter X Hunter like Bugman? Why is he so low?
Because
Like,
I have
that's
no. Because I have no fucking clue who he is, so I just
Why
put
is
him.
he on this list?
Con, fun fact, you don't have to include a character you don't know in your tier list.
In fact,
I'm
he's
gonna
actually
use
smarter in certain aspects of some of those characters on this list.
Oh,
He only
yeah,
got
this
undone because of a
chaotic
stupid
energy.
reason.
Anyways,
You know who's missing from this list? Erica Ferrudo. Anyways, Umineko.
It is lower than fucking
Erica S tier, the smartest.
I would like to move on now.
Where's
John is
Erica?
humiliated beyond belief.
Alright, fine,
Alright,
we're
stop
done.
bullying.
I just
We're
want to
done
say
bullying
though, the blonde guy from Hunter x Hunter, I forget his name, the guy with the red eyes.
Kurapika.
Karapika.
Karapika, he is like objectively not as smart as the Bugman from Hunter x Hunter.
I haven't gotten to the Chimera Ant arc yet. I know he's a Chimera Ant, but I haven't gotten there yet.
Why?
Oh,
I don't
that's a
get
good
why
arc,
you-
though.
Your
Anyways.
tier making
I've only gotten
is
to Great
very
Island.
interesting.
Alright, so,
I want to get in a word.
That's
Guys,
crazy.
my
You
job
should
gave
see
me
my
I can get a word in real
Horror
quick.
anime.
on it.
AC had typed, and I thought he said John. That's how it's pronounced, but it's
Spelled.
else while also eating food. I look over, see JOH, and
You missed the F.
alright, cool, I'm done setting up the audio. I'm done, like, configuring my fucking audio setup now. Yeah,
I
cool.
regret everything, and I am very sorry for my pain.
You don't have to apologize for anything, Con.
It's just hilarious.
Nothing
That's all it was.
wrong.
We are simply.
Carry
We're
on.
just taking the Mickey.
where's Robu?
We're having fun.
Where is Robo?
Yeah,
What
what
the
happened
fuck?
to him?
Somebody bring Roboot into the club.
Well,
What the fuck is Mickey Mouse
Hello.
for then?
Is my microphone working today?
Oh yes, it
yes,
is.
you're good
Shelley.
to go. You're good to go.
And
You
you
ever heard
like
of
it better than
machines?
my
Wait,
internal
Crimson.
microphone.
Sorry, can you
It's-
repeat that?
This is my new microphone I got from work. Is it better than my internal microphone?
It sounds like a bit like I'm trying to. It sounds like a bit quieter. Like it sounds like you're slightly distant.
It sounds a bit muffled.
Yeah,
that would make
Mm.
sense because my laptop was on my chest and that was probably vibrating for my entire body.
I would say go with whatever one makes you comfortable.
Yeah.
As long as you aren't completely inaudible, I'm fine.
Audible.com.
I wish. Sponsor.
I do wish. I love Audible.com.
Welcome to our live reading
And
of
more
Umineko when
importantly,
they
this
cry.
headset does not
Yeah.
activate at the rustle of my clothing, so I don't have to have push to talk on, which I like.
Audiobook reading of
We will see.
Umineko when they cry.
Also, if you guys wanted me to
Umineko
start
when
a
they
real
read.
fucking fight, I'd bring out my waifu tier list. Let's go!
I-
boy.
That would get
Wait,
people
no more
killed, Con.
fights.
How about
It's
they-
more
That would
subjective.
actually
Well,
cause several
actually,
homicides.
excuse me, there will be one more fight in court. Let's get started.
Alrighty
We're
then,
still in
yeah.
which court? I thought we
We are
finished that.
still no. We're like halfway through Witch Court at the moment. You still got a
Okay.
ways to go.
I'm gonna
This
go
is worse
carry
than the
Mason on your
Edgecombe
asses.
trial.
Actually, no. I want to make this joke in private. Actually,
Oh.
which court? It's nothing offensive. It's just something
Which court is
personal.
which?
Oh, which court? I tell you what, there's a good. In the Discord server, which court?
These are their stories.
Dun, dun.
In the sandwich court. You can't
Alrighty
put Mayo
then.
there.
Sorry.
So yeah, real quickly.
Ah!
Yeah. Alright. Anyways, before we get into it, since not to break up the flow of the stuff at the very end of it, Thank you for showing up. Give me numbers. I need them. All right. You know, like likes and subscribes and all that, and follows and whatever. So now I'm just gonna say, give me numbers now.
Nobody. Well, I didn't understand what that meant. I don't think they will either.
Listen.
He needs the views.
When I cultivate a following, they will understand what I say when I yell, "Give me numbers."
You're not gonna get a following if you use terminology like that.
Word.
Yeah, I can't imagine people are that happy about it.
Yeah, that sounds a bit cultish.
Sandwich numbers.
Numbers. All right, Natsuki's cry was. Let me just make this a little too loud. I'll take that down a notch. There we go. Alrighty then.
Sandwich.
Natsuki's cry was a mixture of sadness and many other emotions, and it echoed throughout the cathedral. Natsuki could no longer stop her tears. Some last, faint element that had cheered her up until today, that had allowed her to endure as an Ashuramiya, as the wife to the head's representative, and as the final family head, had been torn to bits. Natsuki no longer had anything left. Natsuki could no longer allow herself to even call herself an Ashuramiya. Those difficult days, those painful days, those days when she still gave everything she could for the family she'd married into, despite it all. The very few happy days among these. All of these flitted through her mind one after another and disappeared. All of those once beautiful memories, then crushed by Berncastle's red truth, smashed to bits and scattered, plunged deep into her hand, and smeared red with mournful blood. It was the red of sadness and truth.
That is all. Just because the crime exists as it does, this level of reasoning is possible for Furuto Erika. What do you think, everyone?
Lambda Delta clapped. Then a bit later, Berncastle also clapped, looking pleased. The expressionless, wax figure-like audience followed suit, and the unshakable verdict was welcomed with a great applause. And so, the truth of this tale was decided. Right now, no humans exist on this island except for those in this parlor. And with one exception, it's been shown that none of them have committed murder. And the culprit is among these people.
Whoa. Whoa. In that case, it's conclusive, isn't it?
Unless the culprit is a witch who committed murder with magic, that is.
It was you! You killed George, killed my husband? Why? Why?
I didn't kill anyone. I didn't.
And panicking with a voice that was far from calm, in a manner that was, to put it coldly and sightly, Natsuki denied the suspicion placed on her. However, there was no longer any way around it. She stood up, brushed back her long hair, pointed down at Natsuki, and said it one more time.
You're the culprit, Ishiramiya Natsuhi-san.
Faced and tear-streaked, Ava walked up to Natsuki and grabbed her by the collar. Then, wordlessly, she slapped Natsuhi's cheek. Natsuki, who had never been slapped in her life, was shocked by the taste of iron, which she was feeling for the first time. it turned into a scuffle between Ava and Natsuki. Battler immediately tried to stop them, but Ava planted a sharp knee into Battler's gut and he doubled over. Yeah? Hello?
Give them back. Give back George and my husband. Why did you kill them? You murderer! Murderer!
Stop it. Ava kicked Natsuki, who had fallen to the ground over and over. Battler tried once more to cut in and stop them, but he was brushed aside. After that, no one tried to stop them. Repeating her son and husband's names over and over, Ava kicked Natsuki, and kicked her. Then she started grabbing whatever her eyes fell upon and throwing it. Natsuki was with a steaming teacup, a can of black tea, whose tea leaves fell out all over her. She was kicked, her hair pulled and dragged up. Her cheek slapped so many times that it started to swell. No one tried to stop it. It wasn't because they were worried about Ava kicking them too. It's because they thought that an appropriate act of retribution for a person who had lost their beloved son and husband. A proper retribution. Proper truth. Everyone in the parlor accepted that Natsuki was the culprit. They accepted the truth Erika claimed. So it became a proper truth. And Natsuki was designated as the proper culprit. She already lost the husband and daughter, who might have protected her. And even Kinzo, who should have given her a final bit of strength, had already vanished like a bubble in the ocean of illusions. No longer would anyone protect her. No longer would anyone believe her. So she was now the true culprit. Ava's shoulders heaved with her heavy breathing. Apparently her anger still hadn't abated. Erika patted her shoulder and made Ava take a step back. Of course it wasn't to protect Natsuki from violence. It was to further humiliate Natsuki. Now that she had been branded as the culprit.
Natsuki-san, I've solved 2 of the 3 riddles. Who done it, and the how done it. Final riddle, the why done it, must always be confessed by the culprit herself. Please follow the rules of the mystery genre and confess.
Why done it refers to the motive.
If this is a third-rate mystery, you'll let out a high-pitched laugh about now and confess to the crime. And start telling the story of her sad past. Don't tell me you intend to make me explain that part as well.
I am not the culprit! Someone believe me! I just had my husband taken hostage, was threatened, and fell into a trap!
Natsuki, with her hair in a mess and her face red and tear-streaked, protested to everyone. But no one met her gaze. Because it had already been resolved that Natsuki was the culprit. Because Lambda Delta had acknowledged that the culprit of this tale was Natsuki, and had woven it that way. None of the pieces would pay any heed to Natsuki's, to the culprit's words.
Natsuki isn't the culprit! I am the Golden Witch Beatrice. I am the one who commands Wakanjima's night. It was reigned since long before the time you were all still scared of the dark. Why can't you just call it my sin? Why must you suspect Natsuki? Acknowledge me! I committed all the crimes. There's no way a human is the culprit!
The illusion of the witch had already been crushed, and Beato's voice didn't reach anyone. The verdict had already been made. Everything had been decided.
No one can hear you. You're a phantom, a mere illusion. Go back to being a simple portrait. You're a fake phantom of a witch, born when Kinzo shared his illusion with his relatives. This is the truth chosen by this world. So, great Lady Lambda Delta, now it's time for you to bury the ridiculous and foolish illusion that this witch claims is the truth.
Goodbye, Beatrice. I've made you a witch expecting that you'd either become my friend or help distract me from my boredom. And you've answered to my expectations. The second one, that is.
I am a witch. Even if Lady Lambda Delta doesn't acknowledge it, I'm a witch.
Oh, sure, but you wouldn't even be capable of believing that if I hadn't become your guardian in the first place. Yep, this is game over for you. You'll be buried in accordance with the rules of your game board. What happens to the losers in your game again?
Beato has already shown that clearly in a previous game. You get made into a mound of living flesh before being tossed into the goat's dinner party and getting chewed to bits. Now there's a fitting end for you, Beatrice. And I did come all the way here just to hear the death cries of one as haughty as you.
One by one, a massive number of goat attendants slipped out from the shadows of the pillar and began to fill the cathedral. The goats paid no attention to Natsuki, who was seated in the center, but the crowd completely enveloped her. From Beato's point of view up on the balcony, probably looked like a huge boiling pot of goats.
That's right. The contract has been like this since the beginning.
Yep. Our contract said that whenever you stopped entertaining me, you would relieve me of my boredom with your life. Come, strip the title of witch from this woman and throw her into the pot of goats.
Suddenly there were goats standing right behind Beato. Stood her up roughly.
Let me hear some nice screams. You're the wine I've been fermenting all this time.
Perhaps refusing the request will be my final strike back at you.
Yeah, I made her say it. The best screams always come from a girl who's just said some tired line like that. Fall.
The goats carrying Beato no longer viewed her as their master. After holding her above the pot of clambering goats, which were snoring heavily in anticipation, they threw Beato's slender body into the air. All at once, the squirming goats faced the heavens and raised their arms. It was almost as though they were able to forget their pain, for just a short while, by devouring her flesh. As she flew through the air, Beato tried to smile boldly, but it was so stiff, it seemed even more pathetic, much to Burncastle's amusement. When Beato fell into the pot, the goats caught her. Of course, they didn't do it gently. The arms of countless goats pulled at her flesh to keep it for themselves. Or did they try to tear her to bits? It didn't have to be flesh. Oh, fingernails, shoes, even bits of her dress worked just fine. The mouths of those goats were the gateway into hell. However, Beato was too big to enter into that gateway, so that they had to chew and tear her. It's a bit small enough to fit into it. Beato let out a bold laugh. She laughed from inside the pot of goats. However, her expression was very different from the one she had wanted. It was an expression not of a witch, but of a single human yelling at her death throes. Then, The sea of goats parted. Eleanor leapt forward, slicing all the goats in her path with a single flash of her longsword. It was a clean strike, like cutting through butter. The goats were surprised by Delanor's sudden appearance and stepped back. In the center, Beatrice cowered in tatters, sobbing.
What's this supposed to be? Delanor, Inquisitor of Heresy. My apologies, but I have something to say. There is someone who has an objection to this ruling. His name is Ushiromia Battler.
Yeah. All the goats stared at Battler.
What is unsatisfactory about the court's ruling? Do you possess any new evidence or truth sufficient to request a retrial?
Get it. Eleanor is offering me a helping hand. If she hadn't jumped in there, it'd be all over. Now I fully understand how I'm supposed to fight. Because I understand now. I'm unable to fight right now. After all, I can't win by simply countering Erica's truth. Deny her truth. Need to present a different one. I still don't have a clue what that truth is!
There is nothing that is not healed with time. And there's no truth that cannot be reached if you do not spend enough time searching. Give me just a second, sorry.
That's right, the replayer is so fucking good.
However, all trials have a limited time in which truth must be decided. Therefore, a truth cannot be reached within that time limit. Therefore, a truth that cannot be reached within that limited time cannot
limited
be
time.
truth. Sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that! But now everyone is certain that Natsuhi's the culprit. Might be too late now, even if for the real truth. Aneba's violence will probably go unstopped. But no one's even thinking about protecting Natsuhi. It's no longer a situation where we can say, oh, the truth will eventually be found. In this world, time ready to expose that truth is very short. It's already midnight at the game's end. The police won't come. The truth won't be revealed. Only the truth decided upon here and now will remain. I slowly stood up, walked in front of Beato, and faced Eleanor. I have no plan. I don't know the truth. However, if I don't jump in now, I won't get another chance to fight. Threat used by Erica's group is mercilessly strict. I seriously doubt that I can pull together a truth where Natsuhi isn't the culprit without violating that red.
Why the uncertain face? How pathetic.
Damn it.
Battler.
I'll be the one to kill you. I want to keep that promise. Right now. I don't have any plan at all.
That's okay. In this world, there is no truth. The truth is made later on and overwrites what comes before it. Real truth doesn't exist anywhere.
Now this is a splendid scenario, Delanor. It just wouldn't be interesting unless the knight appears before the princess's execution. And there's nothing better than watching heads roll before your very eyes. Erase the old piece and the unneeded player all in one go.
As you wish. Glory be to the great Lady Bernkenstall. I am the head Inquisitor of Heresy, Dillinor A. Knox. Step forward, Ushiromiya Battler.
Damn it. I've got nothing more to lose. If you want to see me struggle, I'll show you! The reason Erica's theory is so strong is because of those seals. She was given red so quickly just because Land of Delta easily bought the alibis created by those seals. But the seals aren't red truth. The stacking paper at a door crack is far from perfect. There's no way something like that can prove anything with certainty.
Begin, Battler. Ready to let loose? Let those goats turn you into a pile of meat along with your beloved Beatrice.
Oh, and I'll mix the leftovers from your precious sister into that pile. Wouldn't that make for a wonderful stack of meat? Then we can wrap it up in a dumpling, steam it, and maybe add some soy sauce.
No, the best way would be to fry them in a pan with some egg and ketchup.
Damn it! Can't we doubt the reliability of these seals of Erica's? Something like wedging some paper at a door can't create a perfect alibi. Obviously that's someone noticed by chance and happened to put it back in the same place. Blade of my blue truth should have slashed diagonally through Delinor's chest. However, Delinor's expression didn't budge in the slightest. There wasn't a single wound on her chest.
I was wondering what you'd throw out there, but this is ridiculous.
Allow me to explain. This is what I sealed the doors with. Did you think this was paper, Battler-san?
Ricky once again held the thing that looked like brown paper.
This is packing tape, and its adhesive power is extremely strong. I use scissors to make it easier to tear. Furthermore, I wrote my signature, which cannot be reproduced in 3 places. Across the tear plate, across the edge between the door and the tape, and across the edge between the tape and the door frame. Therefore, it's impossible to tear it off without leaving a mark. And it's impossible to reattach, too.
Permission to unsheath the red key.
Granted.
Due to the above, the seals are guaranteed to be perfect. Miss Erica's seals were not broken by anyone, and deception is impossible.
I'll acknowledge Erica's seals. However, Auntie Ava's seal on Genji-san's room should be different.
Eva's seal was the same type as Miss Erica's. That is because this method of sealing, the one that Miss Erica and Eva conceived of together after dinner.
Erica fished through the chemicals in Grandfather's room saying that she used them for forensic testing, right? There's been some kind of solvent among them. If you use that, you might be able to tear off the duct tape without leaving fingernail marks.
For your attention, I beg to inform you of the following. It is impossible to tear off any of the seals by any method without leaving marks.
For your attention, I beg to inform you of the following. There were no suspicious marks on any of the seals.
Therefore, it's been proven that nothing was done to any of the seals. Repeat it!
Yes, gladly. All of Erica's and Ava's seals were not tampered with in any way that hindered their ability to act as seals, such as being scraped off.
Damn it! Damn you! Using packing tape leaves only marks all over the place! Eleanor isn't my only enemy. Those are her subordinates, Gertrude and Cornelia. And also Erica and her master Berncastle. And even Lady Land of Delta, the one who hijacked Beato's game. Everyone in this cathedral is my enemy. fierce rush of red immediately repelled my feeble truth. It's obvious why I don't have any alternative truth. Even at this final stage, I have nothing.
Were the seals all you had to discuss? You promised to give it everything you've got.
Only knew a truth that could prove Aunt Nazi's innocence. If I could only make a theory that weaves its way through Erica's red. Know anything! Gone?
Do you have any chance of winning?
I left it at home. And if I go back and get it,
I have already lost. I am prepared for my fate.
promised that I'd kill you. So I won't let anyone else do it. I'll definitely keep that promise.
Liar. I'll never trust your promises again.
Huh? When did I ever make a promise to you? What was the lie?
After hearing you say that, hell might not be so bad. Kill us. Burn Castell. London Delta.
Via let a shrill cry, overcome with laughter. It's a broken laugh, and tears streamed down her cheeks. Kyla's words would no longer reach her ears. She kept on laughing insanely, like a broken record.
Is it over? Pitiful. I truly am disappointed, Ushirimiya Battler.
Yeah. Kill me, Telenor. Slice me in half with that red long sword of yours.
I postulate a method X that could lead someone to the upper floor of the guest house without passing through the lounge. Eric claims that all the windows and such were sealed, but you can't prove that she sealed all possible means of entry. It's possible that Erica was unable to seal entrance X because she couldn't find it.
Noxus Third. It is forbidden for hidden passages to exist. As the detective, Miss Erica sealed all entrances. Passages that the detective cannot find are hidden passages. Therefore, there are no entrances that Miss Erica cannot find.
I present the possibility that Erica's lookout in the lounge wasn't perfect. During those 2 hours Erica spent there, did she really observe everything without looking away for a second? It might be impossible for someone to pass through the lounge during a small window of opportunity, when Erica at least wouldn't have seen them.
Please allow me to speak. Lady Erica's lookout in the lounge was perfect. There were no small gaps or carelessness or times when she looked away for even a second.
Please allow me to speak. Therefore, during their entire meeting in the lounge, only Rosa went up to the 2nd floor.
But was that really Aunt Rosa herself? It's possible that someone disguised themselves as Aunt Rosa. They was actually holding a large suitcase with someone hiding inside it.
Noxus 10th. It is forbidden for a character to disguise themselves as another without any clues. There was no foreshadowing suggesting that someone might be disguised as Rosa. Furthermore, Erica verified that Rosa was not carrying any large luggage large enough to hide a human being.
Natsuki was being threatened by someone! The uninvited unknown guest acts as the true culprit! How can you be sure that we are the only ones on this island? The true culprit is someone else!
Noxus first. It is forbidden for the culprit to be anyone not mentioned in the early part of the story.
Maybe they were killed with poison in a remote murder! With a strange drug that can make a cut appear on the victim's neck when they die! The poison used has a delayed effect, so even with an alibi—
Noxus fourth. It is forbidden for unknown drugs or obscure scientific devices to be used.
There's a chance that there existed a murder device X in the cousin's room and Genji-san quarters that made it a remote murder possible. He's a secret mechanism that still hasn't been discovered.
Noxus eighth. It is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented.
I just know there exists a true culprit other than Natsuki! If you deny that, then for each character, repeat in red that they aren't the culprit!
Noxus 6. It is forbidden for accidents or unaccountable intuition to be employed as detective technique.
Say that everyone except Natsuki has an alibi? You're forgetting one! Who's gonna prove that Erica herself has an alibi?
Noxus 7th. It is forbidden for the detective to be the culprit.
Unless she's caught red-handed, you should never be able to deny the possibility that Natsuki is innocent. You even deny future possibilities, like a piece of evidence X that Eric hasn't discovered proves Natsuki's innocence.
Noxus 8th. It is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented.
This story is full of malicious fiction! The story itself is a trap designed to enframe Natsuki! We should reconstruct the story from impartial truths alone!
Noxus 9th. Observers are permitted to put forward their own conclusions and interpretations.
Maybe I was the culprit, and I gave Georgiana Kinevis a slow-acting poison that makes them die after midnight, and silence of their throats when I returned at 3 a.m. You have done it so quietly that Erica wouldn't hear!
Noxus 8th. It is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented.
Everyone committed suicide! So there is no culprit!
For your attention, I beg to inform you of the following. All deaths were homicides.
Erica didn't personally examine the corpses, right? It'd be possible for people who aren't the detective to make a mistake when examining corpses!
For your attention, I beg to inform you of the following. Be advised that no examination of any corpse is ever mistaken.
Maybe there were body double corpses! They revered corpses before and they closely resembled the victims!
Be advised that no corpses exist except those of characters who have appeared in the story.
Then how can you claim that Uncle Kraus is dead without his corpse? That box to violate Nox's something or whatever!
Be advised that the red truth is simply truth, and there is no need to provide evidence or proof.
Damn it! In the face of these insane arguments, any attempt to overturn the truth where a Nazi is treated as the culprit are completely meaningless. Each time I brandish my desperate blue truths, Eleanor and the others' red truths knock me down to the floor. It's getting hard to even stand back up again. Does that mean my body is telling me that I'm about to surrender? The truth around Nazi is the culprit. The red truth is getting more and more perfect. Each time I think I can slip through a crack and a chink in their armor, Eleanor smacks me down with the red longsword of Nox. Vienna.
That's enough, Battler. now the endless torture that torments me. No, us. Will finally end. Let us fall together into the depths.
I don't want to see Beata like this. Her Majesty is the ruler of the Golden Land. Her enthusiasm is my rival. Completely gone. She's just a pitiful woman who has been trampled over and lost all hope. Tears streaming down her face and a tragic smile that I can't bear to look at.
Does your truth no longer exist?
No. One last thing.
And that is a different truth where Natsuhi isn't the culprit.
It's not it. All I can do is prove that Natsuhi isn't the culprit. For that, I can't show what the real truth is at all. But even so, maybe at least you'll be saved that way.
Why?
I can show without a doubt that Nazi isn't the culprit. However, I cannot show a different truth. If Erica's truth is dispersed, the crime will return to darkness. Might still be room for you to exist.
Yeah, if you can do it. But if you can't show a new truth, that means you're incompetent and useless as a player. I'll have you vanish from this game board for all eternity.
At this point, the Game Master is Lambda Delta. And she is there too. Probably doesn't mean losing a single game. Being banished from this game for all eternity and losing. The witches have said in the past. I can faintly imagine the place pieces are sent to when they're banished. One of the depths of oblivion. An eternal darkness that lies on the far side of an eternal oblivion, where there is no concept of life or death. I'm gonna disappear, aren't I? Or Beata will remain. As long as Beata remains, no matter how suspicious that Nazi he is, there'll remain a space for the witch to be the culprit. In other words, room for Nazi to not be the culprit. As long as that space exists, someone will eventually expose the truth. It doesn't have to be me. Anyway, eventually, someone will smash this fake truth to pieces! I understood that. Time had come to abandon myself for the sake of this other person who would eventually appear. For the sake of the real truth. Well, I have to break my promise to kill you after all.
Don't leave me as the only one alive. I'll disappear with you. Let that be your final tribute to me. I beg you, if you just do this one thing, I won't need anything else.
Have you used up everything you have? I really am disappointed in you, Ushirmia Battler.
Quickly perform his requiem. This way I'll have an open field in which to expose Natsuhi-san's sin.
These guys really are interesting. Beatrice. Ushirmia Battler.
But I've gotten tired of this. You aren't needed in our game. Do it, Delanor!
This is the end. If you still have one last bit of power, let me see you muster it now in your last moments.
It's small, but it's a sparkling red truth. The last trump card Virgilia gave me. This takes your theory back to square one.
If you can, why not go ahead?
Take this! Ushirmia Natsuhi is not the culprit! Truth is simply proof. With no evidence of red truth is simply truth. With no evidence of proof needed. Fuck. This'll make Delanor stagger. But that's all it does. It's the first and last choice it can make.
Noxus second. It is forbidden for supernatural agencies to be employed as detective technique.
Huh? My red truth was blown away by Delanor's red longsword.
In this court, if anyone other than witches is going to speak the red truth, they'll have to construct an appropriate proof for it. Erica's been following this procedure, right?
True. Erica hadn't used the red herself even once so far. Always had Burncastle, the witch, repeat her statements.
Your red truth isn't something you obtained for yourself. It's a supernatural truth given by a paranormal being. In other words, it isn't reasoning. It's no better than a random thought.
In that case, if I have Virgilia say the same red truth, where is Virgilia?
If you are to present that red truth, you must construct an appropriate argument. Can you do that?
No. Impossible. I to the truth that I'm not the culprit, without any bias or evidence.
See, real truth is a very fragile thing. Does real truth exist? And is it necessary? Even without it, the tale will continue on. Battler.
Come on, Battler. Prove the red you have shown. If you cannot, this is goodbye.
Then, goodbye. Sorry. Theodore.
Don't say that. Thanks for sticking around with me. It was such a blood-stained tale, but it was fun.
The trial is now finished. Finished. Finished, 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 finished. Finish, 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 finished. Finish, 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 finish. Finish, finished, finish, 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 finish. Finish, 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 finish. Finish, finish. Finish, 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 finished. Finish, 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 finished. Finish, 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 finish. Finish, 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 finished. Die the death. Sentenced to death. Great Equalizer is the death.
That, the trial for the 5th game ended. Detective Birdo Erica accused the culprit, Shirmi and Natsuhi. There are 3 riddles the detective must explain. The first is the whodunit. Who is the culprit? As previously stated, it's Shirmi and Natsuhi. The second is the howdunit. How did they carry out the crime? During that hour between midnight on October 4th, 1986, and 1 o'clock the next day, Shirmi and Natsuhi went to the cousin's room on the 2nd floor of the guest house, and the servant waiting room on the 1st floor of the mansion. There she carried out the murders. It's only possible for the crime to have taken place during that hour. That 1 hour. Alibis have been proven for all characters except Natsuhi. In the sky, a massive red longsword, even greater in size than the one Delanor held, came crashing down like a thunderbolt, piercing through Battler's heart and pinning him in place while he stood. Where he still stood. In that instant, the Beatrice became a golden splash and faded away, and their former minions disappeared as well. As the heartless witches looked down at the cathedral center, laughing coldly, all that remained was Battler, with the red longsword sticking through him, and Delanor.
Rest in peace, Ushremia Battler. What a shame. I thought you were a more capable person than this.
Battler blew bubbles of blood, closed his eyes slowly, and died. Eleanor stared on this scene, and turned on her heels when she saw his life leave him. After that, all that remained was the corpse of this sorrowful man, pierced by the sword that acted as a massive red grave marker, and lit by the faint glow let in from the cathedral's skylight. Yeah, B killed me.
That's it?
That's it.
Well, no, there's another.
And then
thing
there was
we
the
gotta
third.
get
There's the, and then there was the third riddle for the detective must uncover. The final riddle. The why done it. Why did they commit the crime? The motive.
In thorough mysteries, there's no need to uncover this. After all, even if you don't expose the motive, the culprit will just confess it when all is said and done. However, Furio Erica, me, was first rate, so she would even expose this. Natsuhi is being confined in the parlor under everyone's watchful gazes. Then, Erica made use of everyone to diligently and persistently search all places, even Natsuhi's room, for clues about her motive. Well, now that we have all gathered, just what is it that drove Hirashimi and Natsui-san to commit these terrible murders? Through my investigation, I, the detective Furuto Erica, have discovered the general outline that explains this. I would like to announce it now. Everyone remained silent, urging her to continue. Erica tossed some of Natsui's possessions that had been confiscated onto the table. First, there are past diaries that were discovered in Natsuhi-san's room. They have barely been used at all in recent years, but they describe in detail the period shortly after she became a part of the Ashirmiya family. Most of them were locked, but in order to find the full truth behind this crime, I use my authority, which everyone has acknowledged, to destroy the locks on all of them.
How barbaric. Reading another person's diary.
If we're barbaric, what does that make you, murderer? A criminal like you has no right to privacy!
And this is what I found from these diaries. Natsui-san ended up married to Kraus-san due to a special circumstance. I imagine that all of you here know much more about this than I do. Natsui-san and Kraus-san were not married because of love or as in a normal marriage or normal arranged marriage. If anything, it was more like taking a hostage.
That is not true.
This is written on the 24th page of this red diary. I am a hostage being imprisoned by the Ashirmiya family under the guise of marriage. However, if everything can be resolved this way... Natsuhi-san, right here, you've already acknowledged that you are a hostage. Kumasawa-san, you have served Natsuhi-san since the time she first came here, right? Could you tell me about what it was like at the time?
If my computer is being really slow right now, can you hear me? Okay, so I'll say the line. Yes, that's correct. I did catch wind of something similar to what you described. I think that by now, only Dr. Nanjo and I know the details regarding Madam's marriage.
Very true. That was during Kenzo-san's golden era, where he did whatever he pleased. He defeated all of his enemies and expanded his financial power. Natsui-san's family was one of those enemies.
As though the time to talk had suddenly come at hand, Kumasawa and Nanjo openly delved into territory that should never have been touched upon again. This was concerning the period during which Kinzo was most feared for his ferocity. It had been said that, though Kinzo had many assets and connections, he held a grudge after being looked down upon by members in the elite as being an upstart. Because of this, apparently, Kinzo wanted to find Kraus a wife from a noble family and use this to raise the Ashirmiya family's status. Then he overcame Natsuhi's family in a financial struggle and proposed that a marriage be performed as a method of reconciliation. And the person he picked was Natsuhi. Natsui had been raised to be clean and pure in a family of Shinto priests, making her a true noble lady. By choosing her, not only did Kinzo cause them the worst possible humiliation, he also won what he considered to be a nice trophy. So that marriage proposal was humiliating to Natsuhi from the very beginning. Given the aforementioned facts, both Kumasawa-san and Dr. Nanjo's claims just now match with the contents of these diaries. Therefore, since the time Natsuhi-san first took the name Ashirmiya Natsuhi, she has held a strong resentment against the Ashirmiya family. What do you have to say, Natsuhi-san? Do you acknowledge this? All of the cold gazes turned to face Natsuhi.
Yes, it's true that I thought that at first. I thought I was being forced into a marriage without love, a hostage under the guise of a bride. However, my husband never viewed me as a mere hostage. He understood what I had gone through and gave me compassion and affection. My husband was the only person who could understand me.
I see. That makes sense. And there are many scenes in your diaries showing that Kraus-san knew of your difficulties and showed kindness. However, on page 47 of this diary, you describe these moments as being unpleasant, correct? Let me read aloud. When Kraus tries to show his kindness, it only makes me feel more wretched. Sometimes I think he might even be trying to humiliate me further. Therefore, we can tell that Natsui-san repaid her husband's kindness with contempt.
Wait. Yes, I may have thought that at the beginning. Back when I was still overwhelmed with unease. I couldn't accept his kindness and out of my distrust from time to time. But I eventually realized he was sincere and good to accept his feelings.
Well, nothing like that appears in any of these diaries.
I never even wrote it down. Those feelings were so secret.
Judging by many diverse bits of evidence and testimony, it's clear that you despised your husband. And there exists no evidence that you eventually accepted his feelings as you claim.
I loved my husband.
You can't find any testimony or evidence that can be used to elevate that statement to the level of red truth, right?
Does anyone need evidence to say they're in love?
You can't trust anything beside the red truth. Statements that aren't red don't count as evidence at all, and they can't be trusted at all. All non-red letters are falsehoods that exist to deceive me. I love you. Who would believe that when spoken with the white text? No non-red words can ever be trusted. All I can trust in this world are the red truth and the piece of evidence I offered to my master to gain it. You lying human who can't speak the truth. Humans lacking the red truth have no right to speak of love or the heart of truth. Did you know? Men aren't as stupid as you women think they are. Men never really take it seriously when a woman says, I love you.
What a pitiful person. I see that you've never truly loved someone.
Romance is unnecessary for a detective. I don't think I've ever used the word romance except to explain the motive for a murder.
No matter what you say, we loved each other. I should be apologizing to my husband for always writing out my complaints and nothing else. But I have devoted my heart to him. Even if I can't prove it, that is the truth.
Rejected. You just don't know when to give up, do you? I asked you to evidence and testimony. It's clear that you hated both your husband and the Ashirmia family.
That's right. I can't even count the number of times I've heard you complain.
Oh, and you've never talked behind Hideyoshi-san's back?
Damn it, you killed my husband! How dare you say that? Die and apologize to my husband.
Please cease your violence, Ava-san. This is another precious moment where I question and convict the culprit. It's not yours, okay? Well then, over the next several years she appeared to have gotten used to her new way of life. But in actuality, an intense hatred still lurked in her heart. Taking that into consideration, there would be nothing odd at all about her deciding to take revenge.
Don't act like you know what I'm thinking.
Each time Erika read Natsuhi's diaries, one after another, she exposed more of Natsuhi's emotions during those painful days. Natsui hadn't written them to leave those words behind. They were written to forget those memories and seal them away. That's why she had written down her feelings during those painful days, locked them up and sealed them away for all eternity. However, Erika claimed that these were Natsuhi's true, hidden feelings that had been locked away and concealed. Since it had already been concluded that Natsuhi was a murderer, everyone accepted Erika's claim. By this point, the red truth wasn't even necessary to establish Natsuhi's motive. As long as this reason seemed plausible, everyone would believe it. No matter how much Natsuhi might object, no one would believe her. No one except the truth Natsuhi spoke of, about the days she had spent loving her husband. That had been painted over by a false truth. But she hated her husband and swore revenge against him. And of the gods that compose the truth has been given to me, Erika.
And so what? Who gives a damn about your past? Murderer! Murderer!
Stop that! I can understand how Natsui-san felt.
I always thought this day would come eventually.
Ooh.
Nothing. Nothing. I'm a sad
Nothing.
old grandma.
I think she's just one of the pitiable victims of father's wild life.
I knew of the pain in Madam's heart. I always tried to support her, but I failed. And look what happened.
I don't even understand the emotion of love and hate.
I forgot Kenan was still alive.
Not right now.
Please. Please not.
Not right now. Not right now.
Sorry.
You will someday. It can become a reason to live. And also a reason to kill.
Is that Natsuhi really the culprit? Well, now that you mention it, there's just one person besides Natsuhi-san that might be the culprit.
What? Hey, are you serious? Say something like that important sooner.
Natsuhi-san, the truth is there is one person beside you for whom the crime was possible. If you truly claim that you weren't the culprit, it means this person must be the culprit.
Huh?
Who is it? Who?
Ushiramiya Kinzo-san. Early this morning, Kinzo-san went outside through the window of the third floor study, and his location is unknown. Isn't that right, Battler-san? Just like Natsuhi-san, Kinzo-san has no alibi whatsoever. The truth is, for this crime, it was possible for Kinzo-san to be the culprit as well. I just assumed that he never existed in the first place, so I totally forgot about him until just now. Allow me to apologize. She didn't look shy or apologetic in the slightest. Erica bowed in an unpleasant manner as ever. The grudge is ever since her defeat in the study battle. Natsui-san, you gained Kinzo-san's trust and are the person who served closest to him, right? So shouldn't you know better than anyone else? This incident is actually the crime of the family head, carried out by Ushiramiya Kinzo-san.
You dare call father a criminal?
Don't worry. I've prepared more than enough evidence and testimony to explain the why done it if Kinzo is actually the culprit. If you say, for example, that you have put yourself on the line to cover for Kinzo's crime, I am more than capable of supporting you. Ever since the late period of the author Ellery Queen, even the theory created by the detective can sometimes change the plot itself. You really can't afford to be careless in this day and age.
I won't let you treat father like the culprit.
Natsuhi-san, calm down. Place your hand on your chest and think carefully. If you accuse Kinzo-san of being the culprit, this entire case will be resolved. You will no longer be held accountable for another person's actions, and your honor will be restored. In other words, by pushing this crime onto Kinzo, Natsuhi would be saved. However,
I have been entrusted with the honor of the Ushiramiya family by father. Did you really think that I would defile father's honor? The Ushiramiya family honor? Just to clear away the false accusations made against me?
of course, Natsuhi knew that she wasn't the culprit, and she also knew that Kinzo wasn't. So being framed herself and pushing the blame onto Kinzo were both unacceptable. Unbearable outcomes. Are you sure? As I have already established quite thoroughly, alibis have been proven for everyone except you. If you will not accuse Kinzo-san, then this time, it really will be clear that you are the culprit. And this will become the truth, right?
If you intend to label me as the culprit and call that your own personal truth, then do whatever you like. I'm sure that God knows my innocence. Eventually he will prove it.
If it came to a choice between her and Kinzo being framed, Natsuki would sacrifice herself. Perhaps that was her way of protecting the Ashuramiya family's honor.
Natsuki.
And I even gave you a chance. Stupid woman. Future where your name will eventually be cleared doesn't exist for any of you, not for any of the pieces on this board. Natsuki had made her decision. They were going to call her the culprit. She would let them. She fully rejected the thought of selling Kinzo's honor to get a momentary truth where she wasn't the culprit. And therefore, the tale was woven with her as the culprit. In a future, if the accusations against her are proven false, this tale will probably be rewritten. However, that future will never come, I think. Truth is a fleeting thing. Even if I am a good person until my death.
The heartless person after my death overwrites the records and says that I wasn't a good person. And I share with everyone else. All the goodness in which I've lived my life could be overridden easily. So, I won't live as a good person for all eternity.
If you claim that Kinzo-san was not the culprit, you'll need an alibi proving that this crime was impossible for him. Otherwise, we cannot truly be certain that you are the culprit, Natsuki-san. Erika has probably known for a long time. It was nothing more than an illusion to make the inheritance problem more uncertain. It would be very hard to prove that he was an illusion. The way to do this would be to confirm Kinzo's death. But as has been made known by the Red Truth in the previous games, Kinzo died a long time ago. And in this 5th game, his corpse hadn't even appeared. In a situation like this, it wouldn't be easy to absolutely prove his death. If Kinzo's death was confirmed, it would practically erase the defeat in the study. It was the only way Erika had of removing the humiliation of that loss. And there's something that could confirm Kinzo's death almost as certainly as real proof. And that was the confession of the culprit. I mean, having Natsuki herself acknowledge that Kinzo no longer existed in this world. That way it would be acknowledged that Erika's reasoning in the study was correct. That loss would be painted over and be rewritten as Erika's victory. Adler hung suspended by Delanor's red longsword. Beta disappeared by having her existence denied, and their minions had gone too. In this cathedral that they had disappeared from, only Natsuki and the witches convicting her remained.
So, you still claim that Kinzo was alive and remains somewhere on this island?
That's correct. Father is in good health. No matter what anyone says, I will not change my statement.
The Red Truth in the previous game says that Kinzo's already dead. But that's not enough to satisfy you, right, Byrne?
Yeah, that's right. I'm after a perfect victory. So there's nothing interesting about getting a checkmate just because Kinzo's death has been confirmed by the Red. I want to win by forcing Natsuki to say she's resigned.
Then why don't you try it? Show us what you got.
My master, let us now achieve a perfect victory!
Of course. Natsuki. You say Kinzo is certainly alive, but you don't know where he is, correct?
Yes, that's right. Father left through the window, and his location is unknown. He's so troublesome sometimes.
Lambda. I'm gonna make Kinzo's location from midnight until the morning absolutely clear. From midnight until morning, Kinzo stayed in the same room.
Well, that's true. He was a corpse after all. No, I'm sorry. That's right, totally right. I won't butt in. It sounds interesting, so keep going.
From now on, I'll use the sword word Kinzo to refer to the living Kinzo. After all, Natsuki claims that he's alive. I'll say more with the red truth. Kinzo does not exist anywhere outside the mansion. Isn't that right, Erika?
Yes, my master! I searched for Kinzo all over the premises outside the mansion. However, I was unable to find him. Because of the detective's authority, Erika could find all clues. Therefore, if Erika was unable to find a hint that Kinzo existed outside the mansion, it was the same as proving that Kinzo did not exist outside the mansion. Therefore, Bruncast repeated that truth of Erika's.
Kinzo does not exist outside the mansion. Hey, Natsuki. If Kinzo does exist, then this means he must be somewhere inside the mansion. Do you have any idea where Kinzo might be hiding?
How could I know? After all, I think of the weather. There would be nothing strange about him leaving the courtyard. To hide somewhere in the mansion and dry the rain off.
From this point forward, I will repeat the same thing several times. I'll give you many chances for an honorable surrender. If you're too stubborn, you'll lose even your true honor.
No matter how you threaten me, I will not give in.
I just love teasing pieces like you. Then, let us continue.
For the aforementioned reasons, it is unthinkable that Kinzo-san could have been somewhere outside the mansion. So first off, I performed an extensive search of the third floor where the study is.
However, there was no way it could have been hiding. We couldn't find any trace of Dad on the third floor.
So then, where is he, Natsuhi-san?
I don't know. If he isn't on the third floor, perhaps he's hiding in the basement.
Yes, the basement. The boiler room, the underground storage room, even every part of your suspicious basement was also included in my search.
Yes, I searched too. I didn't see Father anywhere.
I'll say it again. Where is Kinzo-san, Natsuhi-san?
In that case, he was probably on the first floor, or the second floor.
I see. Process of elimination does tell us that, doesn't it? We then thoroughly searched the first floor, and the result?
Nothing. We were unable to find Father.
I'll say it again. Where was Kinzo-san, Natsuhi-san?
Then he was probably hiding on the second floor. How should I know where Father was hiding?
Are you sure about that? Do you really not know where Kinzo-san was hiding?
Madam knows where Kinzo was hiding?
That's insane.
That can be true.
Both Shannon and Ken knew that Kinzo was already dead. They didn't have a clue how Erika would use a phantom of a person who didn't exist to corner Natsuhi.
Kinzo is nowhere outside the mansion. Kinzo isn't on the third floor. Kinzo isn't in the basement. Kinzo isn't on the first floor. Therefore, the only place Kinzo could possibly exist is the second floor.
I'll accept that red truth. Natsuhi. Kinzo should be somewhere on the second floor. Will you still not tell us where he's hiding?
No matter how many times you ask, it won't change the fact that I don't know.
Erika. Start from the beginning and go in order, investigating the entire second floor. Use the detective's authority to avoid missing a single clue and to see through all types of hidden doors and hidden rooms.
Yes, my master! The Natsui-san's pretty dumb, isn't she? She still can't see where we're going with this.
I am pissed beyond any shadow of a doubt. No need to talk more than is necessary. Come on, Erika. Take everyone with you and begin the investigation.
Erika uses the detective's authority to take everyone, even Natsuhi, and go to the second floor to search every room starting at one end. Even for rooms that were thought to have nothing at all to do with the crime, Erika did not relax her search in the slightest. Her search was thorough in every single room as they moved through them all. So you still won't tell us where Kinzo-san is hiding?
Stop saying that! How many times do I have to say that I don't know?
Natsuhi-san! Even if we do keep searching, we'll never be able to find Kinzo-san at this rate, right?
Hmm?
Of course. Kinzo doesn't exist. No matter how long the search continues, it's just a waste of time. This was known by Erika, the Witch's Peace, and Natsuhi, the one who knew the truth. In that case, the search will end in the room at the far end of that corridor. In other words, it will have been proven that Kinzo wasn't in any of the rooms except that one. What do you think about that? He isn't on the third floor or the first floor of the basement. He isn't in any of the rooms on the second floor except for the one at the end. So if he really did exist inside the mansion, proving that he could only exist in that room at the end. In other words, this was Hempel's Raven. Because it had been established that a living Kinzo couldn't exist anywhere except the final room at the end of the corridor. It automatically meant that a living Kinzo existed in that final room. And that room at the end of the corridor was...
Oh.
Which room was at the end of the corridor again?
Landelta was munching on a refill of popcorn. That's Natsuhi's room, Lady Landelta!
In other words, Kinzo had no place to hide except inside Natsuhi's room. Do I need to say it in red?
Of course.
Kinzo does not exist anywhere outside Natsuhi's room.
Well then. That means this room is the only place left. It means Kinzo-san isn't anywhere outside this room.
Isn't this my room? Where exactly in my room do you claim father is hiding?
In a rage, Natsuki unlocked the door to her room and pointed inside. Of course, Kinzo was nowhere to be seen.
Do you see father anywhere in here? Look!
I see. Looks like he isn't there. He realized we were coming and escaped out the window. If Kinzo wasn't in the last room, it meant that he didn't exist anywhere. There was no living Kinzo outside the mansion. There was no living Kinzo inside the mansion. Therefore, no living Kinzo existed. However, Erika didn't make that argument. She had pointed out herself without making a checkmate. It was because Burncastle didn't want to win by cornering Natsuki with the red truth. She wanted to force Natsuki to accept a humiliating resignation. I have not only been searching for Kinzo-san himself all this time, I've been looking for signs that Kinzo-san hid somewhere between midnight and the morning. And no such signs have existed.
In other words, from midnight until morning, Kinzo was always holed up in the same room. And that was Natsuki's room.
It means the checkmate of Red Truth has finally cornered the piece known as Kinzo's phantom inside Natsuki's room.
Hey, Natsuki-san! This means you were with Kinzo in this room until morning. Do you still claim that you don't know where he was?
Acknowledge it with the red truth. For the entire duration of the night between midnight and morning, a living Kinzo could not have existed anywhere outside Natsuki's room. I permit you to use this truth to advance your argument about how he could have only existed in Natsuki's room.
A plea bargain. Hey, Natsuki. Even someone as stupid as you must have realized the fix you're in now. This is your last chance. Make Kinzo the culprit. Call the Yoshiramiya family head a criminal and crush the head's honor to protect yourself. If you show that you have the guts to do that, I'll change the plot into one of a tragic heroine taking the blame to protect the family head.
Father is innocent. I cannot call father a criminal.
He refused the deal. Okay, Burn. Do it.
For the entire duration of the night between midnight and morning, a living Kinzo could not have existed in any place except inside your bed.
What? And what do you mean by that?
After conducting a thorough search of this room and a detailed scientific examination, I discovered that Kinzo did not exist anywhere in this room between 12 o'clock and morning. However, your bed is the only exception. Shocked silence dominated the room. Natsuki completely forgot to close her open mouth. Last night, around the time the gold was discovered, and so probably about 11 o'clock, Kinzo-san escaped from the window on the 3rd floor and snuck into the bed in your room. And as an even more unfortunate result from my investigation, it's been proven that you were also sleeping in that bed.
I'll repeat it. For the entire duration of the night between midnight and morning, a living Kinzo could not have existed in any place except Natsuki's bed. And last night, Natsuki also slept in that same bed.
Wow, look how close they were. So you two were so close to each other, You slept sharing the same pillow.
Blue truth. Therefore, we can conjecture that Oshumiya Natsuhi and Oshumiya Kinzo had sexual relations with each other. Why else would a man and a woman share the same bed all night long?
How rude! To think I would do such a thing with a father I respected so much. I won't allow you to say such things.
Natsuhi. Use the red truth to counter this blue truth. Of course, since you aren't a witch, there's no red you can use. So I'll speak with the red truth in your place. At least, I will if you can show me convincing proof.
How could such proof even exist? How low are you willing to sink to mock me? Damn it!
Natsumi tried to attack Erika, but Ava pinned her arms behind her back so she couldn't do anything. How unsightly. In order to take revenge against the Ashurimiya family, you first schemed to take control of everything the family owned. For that reason, you used your body as a weapon and ensnared Kinzo-san.
I never did anything of the sort. I have never given my body to anyone except my husband.
I understand why you want to deny it. Testimony from several witnesses have already made it clear that you've had repeated secret meetings with Kinzo-san. After all, last night you went to say good night to Kinzo-san. With just the two of you alone in his study, right? And beyond that, I've collected multiple bits of testimony regarding clear traces of sexual intercourse.
Are you insane? Who was it? Who said something so ridiculous? Koda? Shannon? Was it Eva-san? Yes, you must be behind something this ludicrous. Who was it? Who?
I received testimony from those involved. Wow, this is pretty fatal. No room for doubt now.
Hey, Natsuhi. Looks like you don't even have a scrap of honor left now. But I'll give you one final chance before I build you the worst of all possible fragments. Go ahead and say Kinzo wasn't there, okay?
That's right. You sure are stubborn, Natsuhi. The Ishimiya family has already been torn to ribbons, right? Are you really that desperate to confuse the inheritance problem by pretending Kinzo doesn't exist? Or pretending he does exist?
This is my final challenge in protecting the honor of the Ashurimiya family, which father entrusted me with. My husband's business will definitely succeed. Until we can use debt to repay our debt, I cannot hand over the inheritance to the Ashurimiya family. I will protect father and my husband's honor. That is my mission.
Wanting to protect the honor of the dead is an admirable trait.
He's not one of the dead. We're talking about the honor of a convenient delusion inside Natsuhi's head. The real Kinzo never once ordered Natsuhi to do anything like protect his honor.
As Natsuhi screamed, she fell down to her hands and knees, being no longer in any way to reject the fake truth that Burn Castle and Erika had weaved.
By my name as the Game Master, Lambeth Delta, I acknowledge Lady Birkenstow as the victor of this game. If anyone has any objections, state your name now.
Of course there were none. All those who might have objected have been erased.
No objections. Burn, this is your victory, and a wonderful victory it is. Now you must weave up the fragment of the truth.
Sure. I'll go weave up the truth. This is the truth of this sad, pathetic tale. Though I did want Natsuhi to acknowledge her crime while half laughing, half crying. After all, that's standard in the genre, right? I'm pissed off.
Still going. After being forced into an unwanted marriage, Natsui developed a grudge against the Ashurmiya family was filled with a desire for revenge. Trial summary, Part 3. As revenge for financially ruining her birth family, Natsui also plotted to take over the Ashurmiya family fortune. Trial summary, Part 4. When Natsui learned that the wealth of the Ashurmiya family was, for all intents and purposes, controlled by Kinzo himself, he initiated sexual relations to curry favor with him and managed to ensnare him. Trial summary, page 7. Burncast the documents, page 682. Curry favor with Kinzo, Natsui repeatedly disguised herself as Beatrice, a witch and figment of Kinzo's imagination, and engaged in sexual acts. Kinzo saw Natsui dressed as the mistress from his past and was easily ensnared. Additionally, a servant happened to witness her in this outfit, forming part of the basis for the legend of the witch. Trial summary, page 8. Submitted by Evidence 17. Broadcast the documents, page 802. However, late at night, on 1986, 10:04, Rishimiya Battler discovered the hidden gold. Natsui planned the crimes after the relatives raised a fuss and insisted that Battler should succeed the headship. She murdered the children in the cousin's room and tried to frame Battler for the crime. Furthermore, Genji was murdered because he was opposed to the scheme. Later on, Hideyoshi was also murdered. At this point, Natsui displayed a strong intent to murder all those involved without discrimination. Trial summary, page 27. Supplemental Materials B, Part 61. Broadcast documents, page 1103. The concrete details of the crime are as follows. 1986, October 4th, midnight. Natsui decided to commit the crimes. Because Genji refused to assist her when asked, she murdered him. Then murdered her husband Kraus in his own room. Trial summary, page 40. Supplemental Materials S, page 8. Broadcast documents, page 1105. Great Court Internal Documents, Library of Law, A09-9974. After which, she went to the cousin's room on the upper floor of the guest house. It arose to join the rest and killed George, Jessica, Maria, and Rosa. She mutilated the necks of their bodies. Afterwards, because there were people in the downstairs lounge, she waited in an empty room upstairs. She hid in this empty room until the people in the lounge dispersed and went to bed. Trial summary, page 41. Supplementary Materials S, page 10. Broadcast documents, page 1131. Great Court Internal Documents, Library of Law, A09-9974. People in the lounge dispersed just after 3 a.m. Natsui left the empty rooms and escaped from the guest house. She returned to her room, where she met up with Kinzo, who had been hiding here. They spent the rest of their night together. Kinzo left the room early next morning and concealed himself somewhere near the guest house. Trial summary, page 41. Supplemental Materials S, page 29. Burncast documents, page 1200. Great Court Internal Documents, Library of Law, A09-9974. Afterwards, Kinzo saw his chance and carried off the bodies of the 6 victims one by one, hiding them. Unfortunately, these hidden bodies have not been found. Trial summary, page 42. Submental materials, S, page 37. Great Court Internal Documents, Library of Law, A09-9974. Natsui, who had failed in her scheme to cast suspicion on Battler, changed her plan to include the murder of all present. Trial summary, page 58. Submental materials T, page 19. Forecast of documents, page 1348. Great Court Internal Documents, Library of Law, A09-9974. Predicting that one of those present would eventually want to take a rest in a private room, Natsui concealed himself inside in a closet in one of the guest rooms. When Hideyoshi visited that room at approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, she murdered him. Trial summary, page 61. Supplemental materials T, page 26. Great Court Internal Documents, Library of Law, A09-9974. Natsui once again concealed herself in the closet from the time the others became aware of the incidents at the time that they carried out Hideyoshi's body. Furthermore, as proof of this, a button from Natsui's clothes was found in the closet. After she exited the closet and tried to return to her own room. However, Fairytale Erika discovered her on the way, and Natsui confessed to her crimes after questioning. Trial summary, page 63. Supplementary materials T, page 32. Submitted evidence, 26. Erika's the documents, page 1348. Delta documents, line 7. Great Court Internal Documents, Library of Law, A09-9974. Great Court Internal Documents, Legal Management, U99-0107. Great Court Official Notice, 01724434. Great Court Official Notice, 01724434. Trial of Illusions, number 0147-007982, parentheses 1986, 10:05 midnight, end parentheses, decides as follows. Yoshimi Natsui confessed to the crimes. For a period of 13 months following this announcement, related documents may be perused at the Great Court Legal Office's Document Management Center for a subsection. Great Court Deputy Attorney General, Chief Inquisitor, Eleanor A. Knox.
Then let's all assume I did it, okay? That's what you want me to say, right?
As though she'd given up and decided it'd be useless to try and talk her way out of this any longer, Natsuhi screamed that out. It was a sad incident.
I wanted to believe that, despite the pitiable circumstance that led to her marriage in the Ashirmia family. Natsui just might have been able to grasp a sliver of happiness together with Uncle Kraus and Jessica. However, beyond Natsuhi's own doing, Uncle Kraus and even her beloved daughter Jessica have been heartlessly killed. It's even hard to believe that Grandfather had been an accomplice and hid their corpse. However, judging by the clear testimony given by several people who knew him, Grandfather's mental state for these last few years had been far from what anyone would consider normal. Perhaps possessed by a mad devotion to a mistress he had lost long ago. Grandfather might have truly believed that Aunt Natsuhi was a reincarnation of Beatrice. Where's Grandfather now? Like Erika had theorized, did he really believe that he could revive Beatrice by carrying out murders following the epitaph? Succumbing to Natsuhi's cajolery? Right now, is he holding some kind of disturbing ceremony with the bodies he carried away?
Are you satisfied now? Is this what you wanted me to say, right?
And Natsuhi sobbed as she spoke.
This is your revenge, isn't it? You, the man from 19 years ago!
The man from 19 years ago that Aunt Natsuhi kept mentioning was supposedly someone who had caught her in some sort of trap. However, she'd only mentioned that this man from 19 years ago existed. But certainly hadn't tried to explain what had happened 19 years ago.
I'm sure that man's underling is running among us here. I'm sure that right now that man is ridiculing me through one of you. Then tell me, are you happy now? Has a bit of that pain and suffering you've endured for 19 years gone away? I finally understand. The reason you've guarded me so far is because you wanted to make me acknowledge that, right?
Oh shit. I forgot. Did I miss a line? Okay, you're good.
Natsuhi-san. Other than us, there's absolutely no one here. Please stop this insanely desperate charade and quit pretending that someone who doesn't exist actually does.
Erica laughed mockingly, but Natsu looked at us. No, she looked at some being behind us. She hung her head and shook. Then she confessed to her sin.
I committed murder.
So, you finally acknowledged your crime directly.
No. This is not about what has happened today and yesterday. I will confess to a murder that occurred 19 years ago.
You'd also whisper together, wondering what this was about. You've ever heard about a murder case 19 years ago?
19 years ago, I committed a sin. I couldn't forgive it. That baby.
Baby? Now what are you talking about?
On that day 19 years ago, Father entrusted me with a baby. Since I still couldn't bear a successor on my own, Father told me to adopt a child. And he made me hold a baby that he said had been brought here from an orphanage. To have an idea how humiliating that was to me as a woman.
With a mix of conflicting emotions of anger, sadness, regret, and possibly defiance, Natsuhi confessed. Her humiliation as a woman when she was no longer expected to bear a child. Also the indescribably unpleasant feeling of being made to hold an unfamiliar baby. It caused her great sadness and rage. For very many nights past, it ate a hole into her heart.
And then, I sold my soul to demons. It happened when I went on a walk to the rose garden to the harbor, along with a servant holding the baby. I wanted to be alone. But that female servant holding the baby faithfully followed me everywhere. I was unable to even tell her to stop following me, and therefore unable to escape from the child's crying. That day marked the beginning of 19 long, headache-filled years. Then, we faced a cliff from across the fence. If by taking that baby and throwing it down the rocky beach far below me, I could undo it all. I really did listen to that demon's temptation. Then, for the smallest of moments, I thought of how wonderful it would be if I really could do that. And lent an ear to that temptation. At that time, the servant holding the baby stepped on a large rock, twisted her ankle and staggered. She leaned against the rough fence, and at that time I thought I heard the fence creak loudly. I told her to look out and try to grab her shoulder. No, I shouldn't be so vague. I'll repent. I'll confess. At that moment, I'm sure that as I told her to look out, with both hands, I reached for that servant's shoulder, and with a thud, pushed her away hard. The rough fence snapped from the base, and the servant, along with the baby held in her arms, fell down towards the rocky beach below. Even though I remember that moment vividly, for some reason I recall a vague and very strange feeling. It almost felt as though instead of falling, the two of them were silently swallowed up into the empty space. So I didn't even hear the sound of them crashing to the rocky beach. No, I'm sure I've heard it. But because I want to think that they disappeared, I must have erased that sound from my memory.
And then?
For an instant, I thought it was a dream. It was high enough that I couldn't see the two of them below me just by leaning over. So I didn't know whether their fall, or the few seconds before that, had actually happened or not. I must have been wishing so strongly that the child would fall, that I just had a daydream. Trying to make myself believe this, I hurried back to the rose garden. Then, I decided to let the servant take care of the baby, choosing to take a rest alone in the garden. Then, Father asked me what had happened to the baby. And an uproar began over the disappearance of the servant who had been in charge of it. Eventually, the broken fence was discovered, and two corpses were found at the bottom of the cliff. The child had apparently been here for reasons that couldn't become known, so his existence was hushed up. And the official story was that the servant had an accident on her own and died. That's right. I stole away two innocent lives in one go. As for the poor servant, her family was graciously compensated. Her aged husband, who didn't know the truth, accepted this, even though he grieved over the unfortunate accident. Then, just a few years ago, he died of old age, and I confessed the truth over his grave, apologizing. But until this day, I have never apologized to that baby. Yes, that's what you're after, isn't it? So right here, right now, I'll confess my crime. I, Ushirimi Natsuhi, did 19 years ago push you off a cliff and try to kill you. But you didn't die, did you? You're still alive, and you still call me mother. You came to this island and took your revenge on me, didn't you? For these 19 years. You know that the one you should have called your mother pushed you off a cliff. And you must have lived a very hate-filled life. And now, you've taken everything I've gained since pushing you off that cliff. 18 years of my life, and smashed it all to pieces. I no longer have my beloved husband and daughter. And I've lost even my honor. And I'm being called a murderer. No, I really am a murderer, aren't I? Yes, that's right. It all went according to your plans. I'm now regarded as a killer. How's that? Is this enough for your revenge? My husband and daughter have been killed. I've been made to look like a murderer, like an adulteress even. After seeing me living in disgrace like this. Are you satisfied? Yes, I'll bet you're quite satisfied. Because my family, my honor, everything has been stolen from me. Oh.
After all this, you still claim that you were framed. Seriously, you just don't know when to give up.
Can you hear me? You! The cursed child from 19 years ago! Are you satisfied now? You've stolen everything from me now! What else could you want? Please, just forgive me.
Useless, isn't it?
Huh?
Butler-san, did you say something?
It's all useless.
Butler-kun?
Yeah. It's useless, isn't it? It's all useless. Ah! And that is the end of episode 5.
For a second, I thought Battler was gonna say it was me all along.
Also, Rindy, fantastic job.
Yeah, you did great.
You did a good job, Rindy.
Everybody give a big hand to Rindy.
My hands are a bit full. I'll give you a nacho crunch.
Clap, clap, because my...
I have to pull this down, so
Oh no, that
all I
came
do
up.
is one hand clapping.
Here, just snap your fingers, I guess.
Snap your fingers and do your step. You can do it all by yourself.
Jazz claps.
Yay.
Jazz
Let me
claps.
see you do it.
Jazz hands.
Hey, just curious. All right, so the kid would have been 19, right? Like the cursed child.
Yes.
How old?
That's
okay,
why
so
they're from 19 years
How
ago.
old are who?
I'm just gonna ask, like, which characters are 19 here?
None of them.
None of them are 19.
Yeah, none of them.
All right, so I assume that the such cursed child is not the murderer.
I just noticed something. The logo changed. That's not Beatrice in there anymore.
It is.
No,
No, that's someone else.
I missed it.
Yeah. We'll worry about that later.
Hey!
Can't believe I got to murder Orange live on stream.
Damn. Yeah, can't believe I'm fucking dead. Really is all useless.
I can't
As
believe it's
such,
now
burn. I mean,
can't believe it's not
Zaz, you get oranges rolls now.
I'm now looking at the silhouette. I use clip to look back, and it looks like an isekai protagonist kind of.
What?
Yeah, I'll take
I was
a
just
screenshot.
thinking that these stories might be like really frustrating to like read as they came out. If anyone did that, can you confirm?
Oh, yeah,
Those were the days.
They sure were.
Part of me really wants to go back to the previous episodes just to kind of cross-reference stuff, but I don't want to spend the time on that.
Oh, we're not doing the tea parties tonight?
Goodness no.
It is 11:41.
All right.
I mean, like,
Man, why do these tea parties have to be super long now? Isn't the whole point like a little, like it's over, but here's a little bit of get ready for the next one.
The tea parties are cool.
Okay,
I'm gonna like them.
so let me elaborate really quickly. So the tea parties are like, so for 5 and pretty much all of them going forward, the tea party, quote unquote tea party itself, is actually like relatively short, like maybe like 30 minutes at most. But
not that long.
The question mark tea parties, those are a bit longer by comparison now. Yeah.
I kind of think they were prologues or epilogues.
Wait, where's that coming from? Is that me?
Oh, did you hear my nacho crunch? Sorry.
No, I'm hearing...
No, I'm hearing like a engine.
Engine, yeah. What
engine?
Yeah, just the engine, probably.
But yeah, they're
like
just
a plane or something. I will
they
say
are
that
fundamentally
for
like
this episode, combined, both those tea parties would be 2 hours.
Wow.
Wait, was that a tea party?
No, this was the episode.
Okay, just making sure. I thought for a second I thought the last person that talked, I actually don't know who last talked, I wasn't paying attention, said that was a tea party.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Sunday will be the wrap up for episode 5.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, nice round 10 episodes for the 5th one.
I really gotta get that last Umi quiz out of the way before I get answered on more stuff.
For some reason, my Google Docs have not... I saved them in as Google Docs, and they have not been accessible to me very well.
Wait, what?
I think it's because I accidentally saved them to my school email, and I graduated, so may not have access.
Oh yeah, you might want to make another Gmail account in that case.
Well, I have another Gmail, just automatically defaulted to my other one.
Oh, what the fuck is going on? Oh, okay, that's the intro playing.
This is the good opening. This is the one that doesn't have spoilers in it.
Oh,
like a giant bubble around Rokenjima, looks like.
Yeah?
Time bubble.
Yeah, time bubble. Alright, so... Yeah, oh yeah, I should go. Man, I got like less than 4 hours of sleep, so I'm a bit out of it. I had to work with my dad at work, and he really wants me to go by his sleep schedule whenever we work together, and he gets up much earlier than I do.
Well, I have to wake up at 8 for my new job, which I started this week, which was pretty dope.
Anyways, I did post some stuff that could probably be used from Live General that I didn't post in any notes. So let me just make sure.
I guess I should make this minor adjustment to the break time screen. Go.
Alright, let's see what you've done.
I removed Beatrice.
Why did you remove Beatrice? Why did you
not exist anymore? He's been denied.
Wow. Absolutely heartless.
How dare you?
Can
we bring up like a picture of like a Beatrice body pillow?
No.
The memory of her.
No.
I guarantee you, if there is a character, there is indeed some kind of body pillow or pillow.
Oh yeah, there's one probably a Maria.
Put Erica
We don't talk about that one.
merch.
Whatever. I'm bringing back.
So the only thing in Live General that I posted that could possibly be used as a thing is me saying
Erica.
I don't have I don't have a rotating thing of Erica. The Beato is just a GIF.
Damn it! I want to draw sexy skeletons.
My thought was maybe it was Kraus or one of the servants that was in on the plot.
Beato as a skeleton?
No.
Anyways.
Okay.
Oh, you're alright.
I also put up the thought. I'm.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm giving my thought. Could Beatrice be a resurrected phantom of that Beatrice we saw that fell to her death? And then Lambda thought, oh, I can have some fun with that, and resurrected her. Is that why she has an obligation to Lambda? What?
Resurrected how?
I don't know, like, they keep on saying, oh yeah, memory of whatever. I don't know what powers Lambda has.
It could be a possibility.
Like, I'm thinking, like, maybe the original Beatrice was dead, and we got, like, a clone of her, like a resurrected ghost. Oh,
Well, you
like,
had
not a
to-
DNA clone. Like,
like a magic clone. Yeah.
Spirit.
You have to admit, the entire reason why any of this is happening is because Lambda was fucking bored, and so was Burn. Like, the entire reason this 5th game started is just for shits and giggles.
Alright, I came up with the thought, is Beato gonna be a new protagonist, but I doubt that.
Probably not.
I wonder if she's still gonna be catatonic, or she's just in the ground. Or in the pot, or whatever the fuck that happened with her.
Not sure, honestly.
Okay, that wouldn't work. Yep. That thing won't work. Is that everything I wrote? That is everything I wrote. Oh, you DB-toed the stream again.
Yes. I'm making a replacement for the time being.
Yeah. We had her for so little time.
I mean, don't worry. Maybe she'll come back for the non Umineko streams.
Sorry, I have to say this. Bard,
Okay.
Bone, there is some kind of weird little humming, buzzing coming from your mic.
That's probably my fan. I am sorry. I will put it on low.
I have never heard a fan that made that noise in my fucking life.
Wait, are you sure you're not talking about my nacho crunching?
Yeah, I've heard.
No, it's really weird how his nacho crunching sounds exactly like a fan.
I don't know. Like, I have this thing here all the time, and you guys never mention anything.
You sound different.
Life's greatest mystery. What sounds like a fan, but also nacho crunching?
I mean, is it the fan or is it the crunch?
Ass.
Maybe we should just stop
It is
making-
the fan. I have
Maybe
heard
we should
fans
just
make that noise before.
Stop making noises.
Alright, well, I'm just wondering, is the fan noise still there?
Yes.
Alright, I'll turn off the fan.
Thank you.
I'm surprised that you guys haven't heard it before until now.
We were just kind of focused on other things.
Feel free to call out background noise. That's why I use push to talk.
We were in a scene, didn't have time. Moving on, thoughts.
Use text.
What?
I would
think
love
Erica's
to,
a
but I'm
bitch.
too busy with your mother.
I already gave my thoughts.
I've just... This entire chapter just made me angry to no end.
It was supposed to.
Yes.
Well, then mission fucking accomplished.
It is a drama.
The dramaturgy.
What?
Well, Khan, it sounded like in the chat you had some objections to the trial. Discuss.
Because this is just not right.
John, that's not permissible in court. Give is a not feeling.
You'll be prosecuted to the fullest extent of Nox's 10 Commandments.
Isn't
Courtesy
it?
of,
Unfortunately.
B.
Guilty.
Sorry, what was that?
Okay, maybe we shouldn't play this game if it actually is gonna make Khan upset.
I don't think it... Was it? Con, you there? You're not talking.
What?
I'm still here.
Okay. Give your thought.
What if it was Rosa, or at least Rosa and someone else and one of the servants or something? There was still a minor window where Erica could have snuck, where she had her
Rosa?
back turned and Rosa came in. What if she
Everybody-
slashed? What if she
died
slashed
the
the
first
cousins'
time.
throats whenever she came in?
Rosa died in the
room.
first Twilight, and it's confirmed that everybody has alibis. Except for Natsuki.
There's only like 3 people. The mysterious 19th child person that got supposedly came to be, or the other 2.
Wait, was it confirmed that they were on the island? Because maybe they weren't.
The existence of the man from 19 years ago is not confirmed in any way.
It could just be Natsuki's delusions.
Yeah, she was pretty crazy during this episode.
What about...
I mean, remember, she was like faking Kinzo being alive the entire time.
What if it actually was that 19th person, but it wasn't a man?
Nox's it is forbidden for
Wait, but what
cultists.
is that? What does the gender have to do with anything?
Like, they never even brought up the 19th man until, like, the very end. I mean, outside of, like, not... What?
Were you gonna say something, B?
Was she?
It is forbidden for the culprit to be anyone not mentioned in the early parts of the story. Thus,
It was mentioned earlier in the story for us. It wasn't
But not
mentioned
for
for
them.
Erica.
Yeah.
She's working from a flawed perspective that's about as narrow as her tits.
Wow.
Oh.
You know. Hold on a second. There's a funny segue to that. That I can pull out of absolutely nowhere.
Oh, don't
and
put
it's the
that
fact-
creature on the stream.
Oh no!
Wait,
no,
why
no,
is
no, no, she
Rindy
deserves it.
server muted?
She server muted herself.
Oh.
For reasons. At any rate,
Fair enough.
I think the funniest thing about Erica is that when they make promotional material for her, they just kind of like keep making her tits bigger.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We could show you later.
But that's not even that's not even pandering to the main audience of Ryukishi's work.
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I can't imagine someone watches When They Cry to look at big tits.
Whoa! Hold on a second. This When They Cry is for the people who enjoy quality, good old-fashioned MILFs.
Fair enough.
And femdom.
You'll never escape the DNA.
Anyways,
At least it's not Findom.
In the future, Joshua, can you like put up the CG of that you know I'm referring to when I mentioned big titty Erica and put it next to the fucking PNG I have there?
Okay, which one? There are
Are you
multiple.
talking about the?
Well, for the game, we'll
fighting
get
game?
it. We'll get it for you.
you.
Yeah. Of course, Saz can fucking get it for us.
I have all the Golden Fantasia art saved.
I know, but I'm saying we'll do it for later when then. But some things have already happened.
What do you mean by that, AC?
What?
Wait, what do you mean? What does AC
Well, what do you mean?
by
What does
that?
he mean? I mean, that's pretty clear there.
Oh, you mean the red truth that he gave you?
The red
Yeah.
truth requires no context or proof.
She admitted there was a small section of time where she was in the library with Nanjo.
Yeah, but she watched Rosa go in after that. She wasn't in the lobby until after, and she moved out to the lobby and then saw Rosa head up.
Quick question for the Fight Club. Can I share some of Erica's original sprites now? Have we gotten to them?
Like original
I think
sprites?
there's one we haven't gotten to.
One we haven't gotten to. Can you post the one we haven't?
I can't tell though because of the Umineko project doesn't have some of the faces.
Umineko project kind of fucks with a lot of faces.
I would like to ask, what time does Hideyoshi get off?
What?
What's the time? Like, is it like?
Oh, whenever Ava's around.
Oh, like what? I don't.
Like what time on the clock?
It was whenever like Natsuhi was in the closet. I don't know.
Wait, okay, when did the 19th man
But not
tell
he's
her?
always in the closet.
Oh! Haha, gay joke. Very amazing.
I don't know.
Oh, no, there's
Natsuhi
a-
seems really straight.
To elaborate, there's a long running ship in the fandom in which Natsuhi and Ava are together.
Sure. Yeah, that must be a crooked ship.
I was expecting Rosa and Aba.
You know, I never thought of that.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I never thought of that, but that somehow works. I mean, apart from the incest part.
Orange, stop being that crazy guy making up shit.
What?
No.
I never even thought of that, but like,
That ship is real.
but like
Real life
Ava could be the tsundere who always beats down on Natsuhi, but she's actually super sweet, like in private. Yeah.
That ship is a curse upon the seas, like the Flying Dutchman.
Orange bringing up Erica's boobs.
So you're
has
saying
led
it's
us
the
very
best
far off the path.
No.
Swear the boobs orange.
Can't show you.
Can't show you.
What's that?
Not yet.
Non-canon.
No, you know what, Robot? We will never show you the boobs. No.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you've asked, we'll never ever show you.
Wow.
You've been denied.
Specifically, Robot.
Harsh punishment.
You will not reach. They call them the promised land.
Shelly, I would like to apologize for the clip that is currently being made.
What the fuck are you gonna do with me?
Suffer.
No.
What the fuck were we talking about?
Alright, I have posted the clip.
Alright, wait, what is
initially
this?
arguing about Eric.
I had to Chelly. What is this?
We were initially talking about Erica's perfect red seals and truths and all
Yes.
that.
Let's get back to the actual important stuff.
Hey, it's nowhere near as bad as I was expecting. What?
How about we talk?
Like, there's no sting in that. I said
The
what?
incest I thought was funny.
On
How
God.
about we talk about literally
Discussion time.
anything
Come
else?
on.
I was deafened. What were you talking about?
Why were you deaf?
Because I was making the class.
I believe Khan was getting angry about something and wants to share with the class.
I still am.
He's angry.
Go.
Do you
Most
have
talk
any
about
opposing truths to what has been stated?
Go, Con. Go. Say things.
This is literally just a kangaroo court. A false truth doesn't make it truth. Truth is the ultimate of truth.
Then maybe not.
Con, I think they're lying. I think you can just say they're lying.
Then maybe not. So
I also think it's just the idea that if you know something is presented in court as truth and no one can defend against it, it becomes the truth because it's the result of the judgment by the judge.
I think that's just called being wrong.
No, it
Nox
can't be
is
considered
ninth.
a
It is
truth. It's just the wrong truth. We need
Nox is
something that I
ninth.
actually proposed before. We need to go beyond that truth.
Hey, what is nonsense ninth again?
Nox is ninth. It is permitted for observers to let their own conclusions and explanations be heard.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
I don't know what.
Maybe we should take it from this perspective. Burkestel and Erica were only solving the points of the murders of the Epitaph. They weren't trying to solve any of the major mysteries that could possibly have contributed to those murders.
It's very analytical, but not very emotional. Hell, that's the whole concept of why she's pretty much an ass. She avoids the concept of the emotional truth of the situation.
Erica denied the emotional truth of the situation.
Hmm. If you try to do it by logic and being not into the concept of the emotional aspect of the case, you kind of see, yeah, it kind of seems to be like her, but if you don't realize the whole backstory about Natsui and all of her weirdness and this unknown 19th guy, you kind of realize, oh, there might be a situation where she might have been framed.
Yeah, Con and Crimson, I'm kind of lost onto what you guys are talking about at the moment. Could you help me out here?
I'm simply stating Erica's theory is wrong and there is a more deeper truth to it.
What is that truth, Miss Kaneko?
What is this truth deeper than truth?
I'm presenting this as a theory that I came up with from other games, or at least from the first one, of a 19th servant, or at least the 19th guest being on the island, but one who could possibly disguise themselves. I know this goes against Nox, but fuck it, rules were meant to be fucking broken.
No. Nox's rules are pretty cut and dry. In fact, it was said in the red, the culprit has to be somebody who was provided in the early parts of the game. Therefore, anybody outside of episode 1 cannot be the culprit.
I mean, that makes sense.
Actually, it could be anyone. My personal fear is it might be actually canon.
Alright.
He is technically an orphan, and he is technically the only person who I feel is kind of in the situation where he could lie about himself.
Is canon 19?
Canon is 16.
He could be lying.
He didn't.
I don't think he's 19, man.
It might be lying.
Sorry.
Except that would go against the lore established already in prior games where he knows Shannon for most of his life.
Prior games?
What? Wait, he was a baby when this happened. This was when he was a baby. He could have survived and just went back to adoption. Or Kenzo just buried underneath the truth.
Con, just to make sure, you meant to say like in previous episodes and what they've stated about canon, right?
Right. Yeah.
It sounded. Sorry. I'm not making fun of you. It just sounds a bit. It sounds a bit weird. Established lore in previous games.
Right. Sorry. What did I say?
It's fine. I just found it funny.
Anyway, are there any characters that like don't remember their backstory, or do they all remember their history? Like, is there anybody that's like, oh, I don't know my real birthday?
Like an amnesiac?
Yeah, sure.
I don't think there are any amnesiacs on the island, no.
Alright. I wasn't sure if, like, Canon said, oh yeah, I just say this is my
You
birthday.
don't actually know his history besides he was an orphan. Kenzo runs that orphanage, and you don't know where he came from.
Like, correction, Kenzo does not run the orphanage.
He kind of funds and kind of helps that orphanage.
It's called a patron.
A patron, yeah.
There is a bit of a deal between them where servants are routinely sent to work as servants. Orphans are routinely sent to work as servants.
Is it possible the man is a red herring and it's just a delusion to distract us from other stuff? Could it be that the intention is to have this guy distract us from the true thing?
I don't think so.
Alright. Any other thoughts?
Sorry, my brain's kind of...
Is the hamster wheel turning, Kaneko? Are you coming up with ideas?
It's turning.
So B. So when's quiz 5?
Oh god, I only make quizzes for the question marks.
I would like to say thank you for doing that because, like, it's like trying to find the time to do that as well as the energy. Because that's a lot of questions that the guy that is terrible at actually taking in information, have a hard time with.
Yeah, no, what I do have for the answer arcs, which will be discussed when we get to the end of Umineko, is like my references and charts and graphs to help everyone understand.
You have
But
charts
that'll
and
be the
graphs?
answer sessions. Listen, I've been in this fandom for too damn long.
Years.
Wait,
I
years
am
is it
kind-
random?
I do
believe,
kind of
like,
wish.
People like this game?
No.
I do kind of wish that I got to them like whenever they were made, but they're like, given what was going on and with them personal stuff, nah, not at that time.
2009?
Understandable.
I think I'd have been a little too young.
I think I
Umineko.
was like 12 or 13 on the fucking forum boards, like all of us arguing theories.
At some point, I really want Noir to turn Beaglesaurus into a visual novel.
That would require me knowing someone who knows how to draw and is indulgent enough to draw any ridiculous nonsense I want.
You asked Kaneko would probably do it.
Wait,
Be like
Kaneko, would you do the Beaglesaurus visual novel?
That depends. Would I get to draw more home stuff than I already do now?
No.
Technically speaking, yes.
I mean, that's up to
as
Noir
far
to
as I
say.
know, I don't actually know how much you're drawing now, so hard to say. You could be drawing none at all, so... Yes?
Do you want me to tell you how much I draw on a daily basis, or...?
I have no idea.
Man, we're off the rails.
So if we're not talking about Umineko, I'm gonna end the stream.
I can't
I was
believe you
very
put that
fanatical.
creature on the stream. How
It's
dare you
Erica
replace
time,
Pieta
baby!
with a... Gross. Disgusting.
Oh, really quick, that... Yeah!
Fucking...
I fucking got it!
Oh, what?
No, wait, hold on, what?
I've been looking at this the wrong way!
Oh?
I've been trying to look at this as if it's some kind of massive truth finding for the ultimate truth of this island and the game itself.
Gon, please bridge this.
Oh.
That is the bridge bone.
Explain it in 20 words or less.
Oh, okay.
Not actually, but like, summarize, like...
Brief.
I was solving the game from the perspective of the two witches when I should have been solving it from a different perspective involving Beatrice and Battler.
I don't know what that means.
Alright.
Okay, but what does that mean?
If we let Khan explain, maybe we will.
Oh, she took quite
Go
a
ahead.
pause.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That it? I don't know what it means.
I'm not really sure how to explain
explain it any other way, so...
Well, there's also, like, two Beatrices.
I was going to say this, Con. If you want, we can hold off and you can think about it a little bit more.
Okay.
Well, if you want to,
that could
if
work.
you're having a hard time to explain it, but if you want to just go now, go ahead.
Like, we had two Beatrices that talk to each other.
I write better than I speak.
Well, okay, go ahead and write it down then.
Alrighty then. That'll take some time.
Go ahead. It's fine.
Wait, will it take more than 5 minutes?
It'll take about 15.
Alright, so we're gonna cut the stream here then.
Yeah, then next time you can... Next time you get
thank you all for coming, everybody.
That slime that is on the stream.
Slime?
It's her victory, so she gets the high chair.
Ew.
High chair?
She always needs the high chair, though.
Well, what do you
so
hate her
small.
so much?
I just like to hate her. She's fun.
What did Erica do wrong?
Oh, what did the little scamp do wrong?
Okay, hold on.
Little
Yes.
Erica, she's such a bitch.
Alright.
What's so funny?
Good night, everybody.
What an adorable piece of trash.
That was fun.